Good evening. I'm going to call to order the January 9th meeting of the New Rochelle Public Library Board of Trustees. Happy New Year, everyone. Let us start, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. An attendance sheet is going around. Everyone is here. Trustee Nancy Weinberger is absent with an excuse. So I will move to the next item, which is the approval of the minutes. And those are the minutes from our December 12th meeting, as well as the minutes from our special meeting on December 30th. The minutes were shared, I believe, with the board in advance. Everybody hopefully had a chance to review them. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 12th meeting. Do I get a second? Seconded by Corey. Any questions or discussions around the minutes from the December 12th meeting? No, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great. And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on December 30th. May I get a second? Second. Seconded by Vera Salter. And I'll open it up for discussion. Any questions or concerns? No. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great, thank you. Thank you for attending today, David, our representative from the Westchester Library System. I will pass it to you, even though
No updates for this month. We were in holiday session for December.
Okay, thank you, David. And I will move on then to the president's report, which will be brief, just to wish everyone in the community a happy new year and hope that everyone had a good holiday season. And I wanted to make sure that I reported out that the board had a retreat. This is the third official retreat that the board has had in terms of our planning and trying to begin to work together. The second that we've had an opportunity to have with our new director. And part of these retreats are an opportunity to come together, to take a review of the work that needs to be done and to start kind of putting plans in place for the new year. And it was a review of a business that we've discussed in our board meetings and also work that the committees have been doing so that we can all get aligned. It was a helpful retreat, and I look forward to having a number more in this coming year. Any questions for me regarding the president's report? Great, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the director's report. Eugene. Yeah.
Thank you. So I just wanted to again share the tremendous effort put into the ARPA Children's Garden Project. So this was a project that from my start in October, we were able to create the specifications, drawings, publicly post the project, conduct a public bid process, complete interviews, complete insurance reviews and contracts and all that other stuff by December 31st. So it was truly a collaborative Herculean effort. And I'm pleased to share that we made all of the milestones to date. We are now looking forward to going into the next phase of the project, which is discussing the memorandum of understanding that we're going to develop with the foundation regarding this project. And ideally, No definitive date has been set, but it has been discussed that the best time to actually do this work will be over the summer. So very exciting that that money, that $250,000 that we were able to really rally together and make sure that we could hold on to it and put it to the great use of improving our children's garden, not only for beautification, but to provide an additional programming space. So to have an additional room adjacent to the children's room to have children's programs, especially in the summer months. Project includes a pergola to provide shade. So even in the hot, direct sun, we'll be able to have programming. It all really came together, and I'm grateful for all of the work that the foundation put into it, as well as members of the Board of Trustees. I'm going to be tomorrow having a tour of New Rochelle's extraordinary history with Barbara Davis, a local historian, with the city manager, Will Melendez. So I'm very much looking forward to learning more about this city's great history. Continuation from our last meeting, we're having our first staff development session next week. And so we have a couple of different things lined up. We're having our first regularly scheduled general staff meeting. We're having a visit from our employee assistance program. We're reviewing the brand new reconsideration of materials policy and internal procedure for that. And we are also having a safety drill. And finally, unless there are any other if there are any other questions about the director's report, I do have a piece of new business to report on.
Are there any questions for Eugenia with regard to the director's report? No? Okay, we'll move to new business.
Thank you. So part of new business is we implemented a brand new internal credit card policy. And so part of that policy requires employees that make use of the library's credit card to sign an agreement and an acknowledgement form. So what we are going to be doing going forward is right now we're playing catch up every time somebody uses the credit card, they'll be filling out the form. Going forward, this is just going to be part of our annual schedule and annual administrative calendar. But we do have our first employee agreement that needs to be approved by the trustees.
Okay, so with that, I will make a motion to approve the credit card agreement with employee Rio Acuna? Osina, sorry, for Reno Osina. And that is the annual credit card policy employment agreement. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second, Tatiana. Okay. And I'm going to open it up for any discussion or questions.
I just have a quick question. So will it be, will we need to approve each person who's signing this form?
Yes. So in terms of best practice, when it comes to financial decisions, so every time we're adding signatories to checks or bank accounts, anytime we're addressing any sort of access to financial processes or controls, that is something that should be supported through a board motion.
I have one question. When you say they sign it annually, is it on a calendar year or fiscal year?
So right now, because the policy is brand new, we're going to catch everybody as they're using the credit card. And then moving forward, we want to do it on the fiscal year.
I have a follow-up question. So will we need to approve each time annually that they approve?
So ideally, what'll happen is we'll have the full list for you. So we'll be like these 14 people. We have everybody, and then yes.
Are there any further questions? Okay. With that, we have a motion and it's been seconded by Tatiana. So I'm just going to call for a vote for the approval of the credit card policy agreement for Rio Osina. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Unanimously, thank you, Eugenie. All right, so we are at the point of committee reports. We'll start with the budget committee. Rhiannon.
The budget committee is meeting tomorrow for the first time at 2:00. And I believe the agenda and meeting Zoom is available on the website.
Great, thank you. Look forward to the report out after that. So exciting. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Corey. Oh, sorry.
Eugenia touched on something that we're excited to be moving ahead on, the opera grant, and we feel like we had a pretty good meeting today on just getting the basis of a MOU between the foundation, architect, and the general contractor in the library. I think the biggest thing from that meeting today was more about Eugenia, the director, overseeing the entire library and how the work that's going to be done on the children's side fits into our total strategy. What we need to figure out as a committee and as a board is the time that Eugenia spends on that project takes away from her time as a director, and we can't duplicate Eugenia. So we got to figure out how we're going to have her on that project and also not have the library lose those hours of her time as she's overseeing that project and not handling the business of the library. So that is the latest from the Buildings and Grounds.
Thanks, Corey. Any questions for Corey? Any clarifications? All right, thank you. Moving on to, well, we'll skip the Community Relations Committee. That was Nancy. We'll come back to that the next meeting, unless there's anyone who reports on that. Finance Committee, here, thanks.
The Finance Committee met on December 13th, and we had a very interesting meeting because the committee members, including Nancy Weinberger, Corey, Lucille Remwick, Eugenia, the director, we also met with two representatives of accounting firms, one from Dorfman Associates and one from Baldessari and Coster, and as well as Robert Calori, the CFO of the Westchester Library System. And they were giving us advice on the best way to make sure we could have the best financial practices in place so we can be sure that we are fulfilling our fiduciary responsibility to the New Rochelle community. So each of the attendees introduced themselves, and we discussed the best ways to make sure that the financial practices were in order. Also, Corey Galloway expressed his concern that we do not have an accurate fund balance statement and the impact of that on financial planning. And we also discussed the possibility of hiring a bookkeeper and what accounting software we should be using. And we got advice from these people on all of these issues. We then discussed the hiring of either a temporary bookkeeper or a temporary treasurer and the need to discuss those issues with the Personnel Committee. So the next steps was Eugenia would proceed with the recruitment of a bookkeeper position, and we'll meet with civil service representatives to determine how to make sure that this can work with civil service. So it was a very interesting meeting, and I think we're moving forward.
Thank you, Vera. Do you want to report out with regard to the treasurer?
Okay, yeah, well, since that time, we've been talking with 3 temp agencies whose names were given to us by Terry of the Westchester Library Association about the potential of hiring a temporary treasurer to make sure that we can put all the right procedures in place. And we met with those agencies today, And I think you'll be hearing from us soon about potential candidates. So we think we can move forward quite quickly in terms of hiring a temporary treasurer so that we can make sure that everything's in place to move forward.
Thank you, Vera. And I'll just add that this is new for the board and for the library. It's an important first step. The treasurer reports to the board. And we look forward to getting a report from the finance committee at the next
Yeah,
meeting.
and the finance committee is meeting in less than 2 weeks, so we can, hopefully we'll be able to move forward at that time.
And that will be, the meeting date will be posted to the library's
Yeah,
website.
It's the 4th Wednesday of the month.
Yep. Thank you, Vera. Any questions? Sorry, any questions from the board for Vera? Or clarifications? Great. The next committee is the Personnel Committee, and that would be me. The Personnel Committee met very briefly and quickly on December 30th to have a special meeting to discuss the library's paid family leave. It was a conversation to look at different options around paid family leave insurance. At the moment, there are some mechanisms that need to be in place to ensure that the library is following through with proper procedure with regard to paid family leave. We will be discussing this further at our next meeting, and we'll have a more robust report for the February meeting, along with a recommendation for a resolution for the board. Any questions for me with regard to that? Yep. Great, thank you. You have a question?
I think I know the answer, I just want to say it out loud. That you tell me. The treasurer is coming from the library's budget because it's reporting to the trustees, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And next we have the Policy Committee.
Thank you. I just wanted to start before I go into the report with just a note to our library, the Pacific Palisades branch of public library, which was, affected by the terrible, devastating fire in Los Angeles and was lost, sadly. And I just wanted to kind of just have just a moment to just reflect on that and the loss for that community in Los Angeles as they battle this fire. The policy committee met on Monday, December the 23rd. The trustees that were present were myself, the board president, Lucille Renwick, the board secretary, Rihanna Navin, Tatiana Infante, and Vera Salter, and Eugenia Shattuck, our director. The brief summary of our meeting was that the Special Projects Committee is working alongside the Policy Committee, and we discussed our upcoming meeting dates and several policies. The following policies are with our attorney for review: the workplace violence policy, sexual harassment, and the whistleblower policy. Upcoming policies for discussion will be the law enforcement request policies, immigration authority visit policies, and we'll also be looking at the deed of gift form that will be reviewed. Our next committee meeting is on Monday, January the 27th at 9 a.m. That will be posted on the library website.
Thank you, Fala. Any questions regarding, and I just want to make sure that I'm clear. You said that there are 3 policies that are currently with the attorney.
That
Right.
is what I believe to be true.
Yes.
Workplace violence, sexual harassment, and whistleblower. Is that
Okay.
correct, Eugenia? Am I
Yes,
correct with that?
with the attorney for review. Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to the report next month.
Thank you.
I think there'll be work for us to do in that meeting. The last committee is the Special Projects Committee, Tatiana.
like Falas said, we're gonna be meeting with the policy committee. So our next meeting will be on Monday, the 27th at 9 a.m. And we'll be helping out with the policies.
Thank you. Any questions for Bala or Tatiana? No. So we've now come to the public discussion section. Oh, sorry,
Just-
go ahead. Oh,
For the
Tatiana.
community relations, the next meeting is on Wednesday, January 29th.
Great, and that will be posted to the website. Thank you. Okay, we've come to the public discussion section of our meeting. Hearing none, we will move to adjourn. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, so we go back to new business.
We did that at the last meeting.
Oh,
We did. It was approved at the last meeting.
but it might have been. Hold on, we're gonna take a pause for a second as we review and make sure that we are on top of them.
I'm just checking the minutes from the December 12th meeting. We didn't do it.
All right, I'm going to back up again. Thank you, Jean, for bringing that to our attention. And this was something that we had talked about at our last meeting and also discussed as a board, and now want to bring it to closure with approval. And so what we're looking, oh God, long glasses, don't, thank you. So we were looking at wage increases for 10 pages, and these are increases, these are 10-cent increases that will bring each page up in the minimum wage. They've gone into effect on January 1st, 2025. The pages are as follows: Natalie Damian, Dawn Denicolo, Deara Johnson, Urania Moraga, Evelyn Ochoa, Rocco Onorino, Malak Uomo, Rehan Paracha, Mia Rossi, Lena Anu Varghese.
Sorry to
those-
interrupt, that was 11.
I'm sorry,
That was 11. You said at the beginning it was 10 minutes.
6, 7, 10. It's 10.
Oh, I thought, okay, at the board retreat, we said 11, so it's 10.
It's 10.
Okay, sorry. I thought I just counted as you were doing the names. And I thought, okay. Math is good.
Yes. 10 pages,
10 pages.
10-cent increase.
Easy to remember.
Yes, as of January 1st. Okay. So I'm making a motion for the approval of a 10-cent increase for these 10 pages that I've just named. We'll make sure those names go in the record. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rhiannon. I'm going to open it up for discussion and questions by the board. Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great, passes. Now, we will open it up for public discussion. Again, hearing none, I will move for an adjournment to the meeting. So I'll make a motion to adjourn. Seconded by Corey. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all, 7:57 PM. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.